Hello, it's Friday, November 20, and today we're looking at James chapter 1 together. As always, I'd like to encourage you to read James 1 on your own. You can read the passage online if you'd like by following the link I've posted in the description of this video. So James in chapter 1 gives a whole lot of fantastic advice and instruction for us in how to live like Christians should, how to follow Jesus. Now in these videos, I've been trying to focus on one thing in each chapter and not go too into depth, and oh man, that's hard here. There's a whole lot of great advice that we can look at here. So I think I'll focus more on the later part of the chapter. So beginning in verse 19, one of the things that James says is that we should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. And I think that this is incredibly important advice for us as Christians, particularly living in America today, that so often we're quick to speak. We don't want to listen to others. We don't want to consider what they have to say. And especially we're quick to become angry with those who have different opinions than we do, those who are looking at things from a different perspective. Now, certainly we shouldn't just agree with everybody on everything, but there are times that it's good to listen, to truly understand before we respond, and to take time to know more fully what others are saying and what they're thinking through. And he says here very clearly that human anger, that us getting upset about things just because it bothers us, that's not what God wants. You know, certainly we can be angry about things that go against what God wants, when people are hurt, when people are neglected, when people are mistreated, that kind of thing. But so often our anger is not about caring for others, it's about ourselves. And that's not what God wants from us. And then James gives this other great piece of advice that as Christians, as God's people, we're supposed to live according to what God has said. And so he says, don't merely listen to the word. Do what it says. And I think this is another temptation for us today, is that it's easy to read the Bible and to say, okay, yeah, this is what we learn about God. This is what God wants from us. Let's discuss it for a while and pat ourselves on the back and move on with our lives. But that's not it. God calls us to be transformed. God calls us to follow Him. And so we need to understand what His Word means, but then we need to live it out. We need to live lives that don't conform to the world around us, so that we don't accept the values of the world when it comes to all sorts of things. What the world values when it comes to money and possessions. What the world values when it considers who's valuable as a person. What the world values when it comes to relationships and sex and intimacy. Or what the world values when it comes to truthfulness and speaking the truth. Or things like that, what the world values when it considers what's important for using our time, or for our sense of ego and how much we deserve. God wants us to live as His people. God wants us to live according to His standards. God wants us to listen to Him and do what He says. And God wants us to listen to others as part of caring for them, and as part of understanding that we don't know everything. We need God's instruction. We need to listen to others as well. So those are a few thoughts on this chapter. There's a lot that I didn't cover, especially in verses 1 through 18. So if you want to ask questions or make a comment about something there, please do that. I'd love to hear from you, and I'd be sure to get back to you. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.